In progress.
So let's talk about the two different metabolisms that we have. We have a sugar burner system or a fat burner system. The sugar burner is burning glucose, and the fat burner is burning ketones. And our body wants to burn both. But too much of either or can actually cause problems. So whenever you eat, everything basically that you eat is going to raise your blood sugar at some point. Now, fat doesn't do that, but proteins and carbs do. Even natural carbs, or nature's carbs, the good quality fibrous carbs. But how much it raises your blood sugar matters. And then how long it takes to bring your blood sugar back to normal basis or in balance, which is called homeostasis, is determined on how much inflammation or insulin resistance that you may have. Because if it takes 4 hours to lower your blood sugar down again, your insulin may not be working very well, and you're consuming too much glucose at a meal, too many high starchy foods such as pastas and breads and grains and legumes, or high sugary fruit, chemical laden foods. So the two metabolisms that we have, sugar burner, fat burner. Our whole goal is to get your blood glucose to be like this instead of the up and down roller coaster blood sugar that most Americans have. And do you know that most people are pre-diabetic? Like, it's huge numbers. I can't remember, so don't quote me the numbers, but like over 70% in America have pre-diabetes and they don't even know it, which is the beginning stages of insulin resistance. Insulin resistance causes a lot of inflammation and congestion in our body, and we are not allowed to get nutrients into the cell and toxicity out of the cell. So the cell membranes get gumped up. Our insulin works really, really, really hard. And if you're not testing for insulin, fasting insulin serum, you don't know how fast your insulin is working. So it might be working really, really hard to keep you at normal blood sugar levels. But normal blood sugar levels in the medical ranges are very broad. They say that as long as you're lower than 5.7, you're not pre-diabetic, but 5.7 in our world is pre-diabetic. In the functional world, we want you to be somewhere between 4.8 and 5.3 on your fasting A1C number, which is a 3-month reading. We want you to be lower than 99 on your 24-hour just glucose reading. And your insulin, we want that to be as low as we can get it. I think the number, I don't remember numbers very well, but I believe the number is lower than 5 on fasting insulin. So these are numbers that we look at when we're doing functional labs. And so how do we get to be someone who is burning ketones? Well, what you eat and fasting is key. So when I work with my clients, and as you know, a lot of what I talk about is that we got to get that carb load down, because the carb load is going to raise the blood glucose much faster than anything. And so eating high quality nature's carbs, which are vegetables first, and then some fruits, and you want to go with more of the berries, lemons, limes, the lower glycemic fruits, even things like quinoa, brown rice, pastas, all of those will raise your blood sugar up sky high. So we don't want that. So 50 net carbs a day is at what we want to shoot for. And we want to get our protein up for a woman, a minimum of 100 grams. But the science is saying of protein, 100 grams of protein a day. But the science is saying that if you want to get down inflammation, you want to increase your lean muscle mass and help with your metabolism, you want to have 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of ideal body weight. So if you want to be a 130-pound person, then you would eat 130 grams of protein. I find that a lot of women aren't even doing the 100 grams of quality protein, which is mainly from animal sources. So don't fill up on a bunch of, plant-based pea protein powders, because those are pre-digested. They don't have the full amino acid profile, and they're not as high quality as what we need from animal protein. So, and then your fat, somewhere between 50 and 70 grams of fat, because that is going to keep you satiated and full. But when we eat higher carbs, higher glucose, our blood sugar gets raised. And the more you eat the carbs, I think simple carbs, sugary white stuff, chemical laden foods, we're going to crave more of that because it feeds bad pathogens in our guts, such as like candida. And candida is like a yeast bacteria type of stuff. We don't want that. It'll feed parasites, which we all have parasites. I don't know if you know that, but we just got to make sure that they're in balance. So consuming 50 grams of carbs, net carbs a day, 100 grams of protein, and then somewhere between 50 and 70 grams of quality fat. So avocados, coconut oil, olive oil, high quality organic first pressing olive oil. Um, uh, Avocado oil is good. Avocados, olives are like a free food and they fill you up. They're all fat. We want to be burning lower glucose. We want that glucose to be like this. In fact, I don't know if you read about my son's friend who just was diagnosed this past 6-9 months with type 1 diabetes at 19 and a half years of age. And he noticed on his own accord, because he has a continuous glucose monitor, which I highly recommend if you can get that to use it. He noticed that if he had a small fibrous salad before he ate, his blood glucose was very stable and very balanced, especially through the night. And he also noticed that if he did some light walking or played volleyball at night, his blood glucose was really stable during the night. So those are 2 tricks that you want to do. Now, how do you get to burning ketones? Well, keeping your sugar load is good down is good, and that will help you to start burning ketones, which is fat for energy. So when we eat, your body has to burn that up, and that takes a good 12 hours to do. If you're burning fat for energy, ketones, you will start burning the storage of fat from your liver, your muscles, and excess fat around your belly that will help you burn ketones. And so that is super, super important to understand that we need to switch over between sugar burning and fat burning. We can't always be in sugar burning. That's going to cause inflammation, weight gain, hormone disruption, cravings, poor energy, fatigue. But if we switch over to ketones and we're burning ketones, so like today I did an 18 and a half hour fast. I didn't measure my ketones before I got on, but I had good energy and my hunger was gone. So when you start burning fat for energy, especially the stored fat, you won't be hungry. You will start to change your taste buds and the cravings for sugar and carbs and that bread and pasta will start to go down. But if you're still eating it, guess what? You're going to crave it more. So monitoring in and out of blood glucose and ketones is key. So that's why having the Keto Mojo is really helpful. It's not absolutely necessary, but it's super helpful. And also, if you want to use the continuous glucose, that doesn't measure ketones, your fat, burning fat for energy, but it measures the sugars. And you can see, oh, I just had a half an apple because Honeycrisp apples are in season right now. Well, if you measure it and your blood glucose goes up, guess what? You want to eat smaller amounts maybe of that nature's carb and eat it with fat because fat will slow it down. But if it continues to raise and you are someone who's really trying to get rid of a diagnosis or really trying to lose that weight, you might want to just put that apple aside for the time being until we get your metabolism burning ketones and burning fat more effectively and efficiently. So you want to go in and out. And I design my programs when I work with my people to work on diet variation, fasting variation, different lengths of fast, different times to do fast. If weight loss is your key, then a 36-hour to 48-hour fast is key. But you don't want to just do that today when you've never fasted before. We want to flex that fasting muscle. We want to gradually get into it. There's certain things that are doing it the right way and the wrong way, such as adding in your minerals. You don't want to skimp on your minerals when you're fasting. If you're a woman who has her menses the week before your menses, you don't want to be doing a longer fast at all. You don't want to fast at all the week before your menses. So all of these are little tidbits that we want to work with. And that's why when I work with my clients, I teach them how to do that. So hopefully this is helpful for you to understand switching between sugar burning, fat burning, eating, not eating, okay, and how your body works and how it is helpful to get rid of disease, to really clearing up brain fog, increase your mood. I don't know if you notice, but if you've done some longer fast, I know when I do, my mood improves. I'm more calm. I'm more even keeled. My brain can think better because the brain fog starts to go away when you start fasting. So fasting is important. What you eat when you're eating in your eating window is super important as well. And making sure that you're not staying in any one system, like fasting too much, too long, or eating too often, too much. Neither one of those are good. You want to go in and out of the sugar burning, fat burning metabolisms. Hopefully this helps and have better understanding. If you have questions, please put it in the comments. I'd be happy to reach out to you and connect with you. Have a great day.